It is a mini convention, but it had all the trappings of a major political event. And coming few hours after Speaker Tambowal's defection, it was not surprising that the APC rolled out the drums. Party chairman John Odigo Yogun formally welcomed the speaker and described his defection as a major blow for the ruling PDP.
Welcome, the Right Honorable Aminu Tambowal, the number 4 citizen of this great nation. Number 4 is already with us. Number 3 is going to be in the park in February. Number 2 is also coming. And finally, one of these great men who have declared themselves as aspirants for the office of president, one of them is going to be your president next year.
For the speaker who had long before now been hobnobbing with the opposition, it was a meeting of like minds.
It is an honor and privilege to join you all today at this special convention of our great party, the All Progressives Congress. I'm really glad to be part of the APC family.
The party also formally introduced individuals jostling for the right to fly the party's flag next year. Only former Vice President Atiku Abubakar was absent, but a new face was seen among the crowd of aspirants, Governor Rochas Okorocha.
One of these great men who have declared themselves as aspirants for the office of president under the platform of the APC. One of them, General Buhari, the governor of Kano State, the great Kwankwasia, the governor of Imo State, our great friend, Nda Azaya, and of course, the former vice president of this great nation, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar GCOA. One of these people, watch them closely, I'm going to call them on the stage later. One of them is going to be your president next year.
Our intention, God willing, is to secure this country and efficiently manage it. So God help us.
Let me say to all of you, my brothers and sisters in this great party, that President Jonathan is not the problem of APC. Let me say to you, needless using any words that is uncomplimentary against him. The only problem of APC is the ability to produce a votable, acceptable candidate that can defeat PDP in 2015.
The mini-convention was called for the party to amend its constitution, and when the affected clauses were tabled before delegates, the proposals scaled through unanimously.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, from Ward E, Ikorodu local government area of Lagos State, the state of excellence, hereby seconds the motion as moved by Senator Lawal Shuaibu. I so second.
At the end, party leaders expressed hope that the elective convention slated for later in the year will also be as successful.
It's getting really more interesting now. You have Rochas Okorocha joining the race. There is Nda Azaya, there's General Muhammadu Buhari, there is former Vice President of Nigeria Atiku Abubakar, and one more name, the Kano State Governor Rabiu Kwankwaso, and you hear the National Chairman of the APC saying that one of them would definitely become the President of Nigeria come 2015. Only time will tell. But the convention didn't go as beautiful as it looked in that report. There's another side that you should see. The music on the background is P-Square singing testimony, but it doesn't really tally with what actually showed himself. It's actually two sets of delegates from Abia State engaging each other in a free-for-all. You see plastic chairs and irons flying all around. We'll keep you up to date with what actually transpired there and how all of these impact on the APC ongoing Congress. Well, let's leave APC for a while and go to PDP as we begin to talk about internal democracy ahead 2015 general elections. Of course, there is a single candidacy, there is a school of thought ongoing in the PDP as regards a single candidacy for the incumbent president, Goodluck Jonathan. But there is another person in the PDP who doesn't seem to believe in all of that. He is the son of former head of state Tafawa Balewa, and in spite of his inability to pick up the presidential nomination form of the PDP, Abdul Jalil Tafawa Balewa is not prepared yet to give up hope of challenging Mr. President for the party's ticket. Now, he told journalists at the party's national secretariat that he would be back to collect the form since he has paid the required amount into the PDP account. We were able to speak with him, and this is what he also has to say.
To see the secretary. I went to see the organizing secretary also, and they said the form was not ready. I'm a party person, so I don't want to put any doubts in thinking that maybe, you know, the presidential form isn't ready. We have so many gubernatorial forms and so many people picking those up. There are very few of us, just the president and I, as far as I know. So why two forms will not be ready is a little bit worrisome. I have paid for my forms. This is it. I was, however, told that they don't have the forms ready. No matter, I am still here. I will send some of my people here on Thursday to come and pick the forms up.
He paid for the forms, and he believes there are just two candidates in the PDP, but a form is not available for him, and he's planning to come back to get it. I'm joined now in our live studio here in Lagos by the National Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party, Ikpe Tukudo. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, thank you very much.
It's good to have you here in Core TV News. What do you make of all those clips that we just saw from the APC to the PDP? There seems to be internal crisis here and there.
Of course, internal crisis will occur in political parties because there is lack of internal democracy. The core of the activities of a political party ought to be its internal democracy, internal democratic principles or structures by which the party can move forward without rancor. But leadership of most political parties have trampled upon internal democracy. One of those things they do is that the party constitution is shunted aside and they do what they think is good for themselves and not for the party. These are the major problems. These are the starting points of problems in political parties. Lack of internal democracy. People who are supposed to do A or B in the party, so elected, don't know. The party chairman and the party secretary seize the structures of the party and use them the way they want. And this will cause friction, and this will generate problems. And these are the causes, as I said earlier, these are the causes, the stepping stones, the first steps that take you towards party crisis. It's lack of internal party democracy.
Well, your own party, the Labour Party, doesn't seem to be totally clean of all this crisis. I believe it's not a good time for the Labour Party, given that one of the biggest politicians that you have, they just decamped to the PDP. What's the feeling like now within your party?
Exactly. Last Monday, the National Working Committee met and decided to ask Governor Mimiko that since he has defected from Labour Party, on whose platform he contested and won elections twice, it is time for him to resign, because the Constitution of Nigeria, the electoral laws of Nigeria says this, that if you leave a political party without factions, you have got to vacate your seat. And I remember when Senator Boniface, who contested the election on the Labour Party platform, 2011 won, he defected to APC. Our party had to go to court. We were encouraged by Governor Mimiko to go to court to ask for him to be recalled. And if PDP can ask Tambuwal, who has just defected to APC, to vacate because he became Speaker of the House on the platform of PDP. What is good for the goose must be good for the gander. It is also incumbent upon PDP to ask Governor Mimiko to vacate that seat, because he contested and won elections on the platform of Labour Party.
But did that come as a shock to Labour Party? Because Labour Party has always been known to serve as a bridge. Some even believe it's a subsidiary of the People's Democratic Party. And I have my reasons for that. I believe that you did not field a presidential candidate in 2011. You supported Mr. President.
Yes. Number one, let me clear this point. Labour Party has never been and will not be appendage of any political party, PDP, APC. Since both parties have accused us of doing that to each other, that means that we are clean. What happened in 2011 was that we have said that we will only field a candidate that is credible. We are not just going to be on the website because we are looking for somebody to contest election on Labour Party platform and we come and disgrace ourselves. If we do not have a candidate, so be it. What happened was that Mr. President approached our party and said that he wants us to support him, not PDP, to support his candidature for presidency, not PDP. Unfortunately for us, because we said we are going to ask our members to vote according to their conscience, but we would want them to vote for Mr. President. Unfortunately, the media exploited that and said that Labour Party is not supporting PDP or is a part of PDP. That cannot be true.
Are you saying Labour Party never supported the PDP in 2011?
We supported Mr. President, not PDP. There's a difference between the person, President.
But Mr. President ran under the platform of the PDP. It meant that when you voted for Mr. President in 2011, you voted on the platform of the PDP, because on the ballot paper, what you see there is PDP, not Jonathan.
Right. But we knew that we are supporting Mr. President, President Jonathan. The difference is very, very clear. We did not go voting for example, in other states, we did not go voting for PDP candidates. We voted for Labour Party candidates. That's why we won elections in 2011.
But why is Labour Party always there for other politicians to always patch with? It happened in Ogun State with, I believe, Benga Daniels, who joined your party. Also in Ekiti State, Fayoshe was with the Labour Party, contested a senatorial seat with the Labour Party. There's another Okpeyemi, who is a member of the House of Reps, who also joined the Labour Party. And then the trend just keeps going on and on like that. Somebody leaves a major party and looks for a party to patch with for a short period of time, and then your party is just there with an open arms. Would you call your party an opportunist party?
No, our party is not opportunistic at all. The Nigerian electoral law says that you must have a platform on which you are going to use to contest election. Along the way, you find out that when people lose in their former parties, they try to find a platform because there's nothing like independent candidacy. They've just got to look for a platform. And unfortunately for us, the former chairman, former secretary, opened the floodgate without any checkpoints to see to the credentials, suitability of those people flowing in from other political parties. And they flowed into the Labour Party, contested elections, some of them won, some of them lost. Those who won went back to their political parties. Unfortunately, those who lost also went back. So you saw that there was a tide. During elections, there's a flow in because they've lost in their former political parties.
Okay.
And they still believe that they can they can win elections, therefore they look for a platform. And as I said, we discovered that the former leadership of Labour Party did not do enough work. I will not shy away from that. Making sure that those who came had credentials that would suit the ideology of Labour Party, and that they were coming there for genuine reasons. But there it was. No sooner had they come and gotten what they wanted than they fled back to where they came from.
Will your party be supporting Mr. President in 2015?
We have not arrived there yet.
But your party had never come out with a presidential candidate. Are you planning to do differently in this 2015 elections?
Without that, if we have a credible candidate, a credible person who comes in there, and this time, as I said, we are erecting serious roadblocks to make sure that whoever comes in will not flow back unless there's crisis. He's not coming there just to test waters. We are going to make sure that whoever comes in there is going to be somebody with our credentials that will stand the test of time. We are not going to make the same mistake.
Well, it only makes sense that if the Labour Party would have a presidential candidate, just like we've seen with PDP and APC, then we should be hearing of aspirants by now. We should be hearing of a party congress by now. We should be hearing of them picking up a nomination form. But that's not happening.
We have not arrived at the end of the day now. We still have enough time for people to pick up, aspirants to pick up their nomination forms. We haven't got, the INEC deadline has not yet arrived, so you can never say what will happen the day after tomorrow morning.
It's all right. Let's quickly touch on internal democracy now. How would you describe the health of the kind of democracy we experience in the political parties as they are now in Nigeria?
A few moments ago, I said this, and I stand on authority to say so, that these major problems of political parties, lack of internal democracy, where a cabal within the political party will seize power within that party and start to do things that are anti the understanding of majority members of the party. Okay. For example, I joined Labour Party as of choice. I was not forced to go there. There are certain things that made me to go there. But if I go in there and see that those things that attracted me there are being subverted internally, there will be problems, of course. And this is what happens in almost all the political parties.
Is that also, would you say that the poor internal democracy in your own party is also responsible for the not too cordial relationship you enjoy with the labor union?
I will not agree. We have the backing of the trade unions, of the Nigeria Labour Congress, of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, of all the majority of Nigerian workers.
That has not been the case, especially at state levels. You see NLC chairman coming up, the last election that was held in Edo State, the NLC supported the APC, not the Labour Party.
I will tell you why. We are living in this country. We are not running away from it. Because if we do not X-ray and expose these things, those coming behind us are likely to fall into the same trap and make the same mistakes. Every governor today in this country makes sure that he captures the NLC, the trade unions, and pockets it, and corrals them, forces them to support his political party, or else they will not exist. Where the state chairman of Nigeria Labour Congress answers presence in the office of the governor, where the governor makes sure that he pays the president of the chairman of Congress as if he was a civil servant working under him, where the trade unions, you find out that the governor will say, I want to donate 30 vehicles to your unions. Go and distribute it. What are you doing? You are trying to correct their favor. So this is what happens. Not even a single state can escape from it. So where governors say, I've donated this piece of land, not to NSC, but to individuals. And these individuals have got to play to the tune, that's the tune of the governors. These are things that you cannot run away from. People see them. But what we are doing now is that the NSC, TUC as it is now, is making sure that it's putting in place those things that will stop or at least reduce the dependency of individuals within the trade unions, not the trade union, individuals within the trade unions on the governor. And then themselves now, in effect, try to corner the activities of the trade unions to support that government. These are things we are all Nigerians, we see them. So I think the trade unions are taking care of those things.
Oh, you saw the the APC Congress that we showed earlier. Interestingly, there are 5 presidential aspirants already with the APC, and just yesterday, the number 4 man in Nigeria also pitched his tent with the All Progressives Congress. Is Labour Party threatened by the APC at this time?
Is Labour Party
Threatened?
No.
By the APC at this time?
No. We are the fastest growing political party in this country today. Believe you me, as I'm speaking to you, we have in place program structures to bring in at least 10 million members. I'm not talking about phantom members. People who, I'll give you phone numbers, I'll give you the addresses to go there and identify. These are members of the party. We are not in the business of renting a crowd and trying to intimidate people and saying these are members. The same people that you see at the APC rallies, the same people you see at PDP rallies, are the same people you see everywhere. We are not renting. We have members. And we can authenticate each and every one of them and say, go there, this is the phone number, this is the house number, go and identify, you will see that fellow, that person is a member of our party. So we know what we are. We are not intimidated by anybody.
Well, if you say so, but in the last election, you pitched your tent with, you said not with the PDP, but with Mr. President.
At the presidential level.
At the presidential level.
Yes,
indeed. At this time, are you possibly going to go with the PDP or the APC?
I've just told you, when we get to the bridge, we shall cross it. We have not arrived there yet.
We have not arrived there yet. I love that. Okay, what exactly would you say are the challenges? Why democracy at party levels have not been exemplary, have not been what they are supposed to be?
Don't forget where we are coming from. We just came out of a militarized Nigeria, where at the head of our arms, stand up, everybody stand erect, everybody stand at attention. So this tendency, we have not managed to cleanse the society of them yet. You find this thing being transferred in. This is a situation where somebody becomes a party chairman, somebody becomes a party secretary. He now believes that the party is regimented. Mr. Stand up, Mr. Sit down. My friend, run over there. No, it is not done that way. This is a situation of free will. People came to the party by choice. And we love our freedom. Every individual in this world lost his freedom. Therefore, when you try to force them into where they are not supposed to go, where the constitution or the party did not say they should do that, then you try to force them into doing that. No.
Just a minute. Let's take this call before we go ahead with our conversation. Good morning, Uche. Uche, are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning. Please go ahead with your contribution. Yes, I can.
What I want to contribute is about this presidential issue. What I'm trying to say to the Nigerian is this. About this election we want to do in this 2015, everybody should open his eyes and vote wisely, not voting somebody that is a religious figure, so that we will not allow this Al-Shabaab to come. Because in Mali, you go to Mali, look at what is happening in Mali, what Al-Shabaab is doing there because of the mistake of their government. If we vote in any religious figure where they bring Al-Shabaab to this country, everybody is going to suffer it. So, what is why somebody that is around the 80 years, the 80 years, running around for president in this country, what is that person going to give us? And they're telling us that children are the future Nigeria, future leader of Nigeria. And an old man getting to 100 years and still running around here fighting to leave Nigeria. They are deceiving us, they are not telling us the truth. They are telling us that the children is future leader, and you cannot give the children just to leave the country again. So the thing is this, what I'm suggesting is Nigerians should vote wisely, because if you enter Nigeria, I don't think we will live to stay the same. Because of the mistake of their government, about entered money. And money is not the same now. They should vote wisely. They are doing this way, people is going up and down now. They are going for presidential. Nigerians, they are trying to go and put Nigeria into trouble. we should vote wisely so that we will not have problem like Mali. As about if we make mistake and vote any religious because that Mali problem will enter into this country and we will talk about it. Thank you.
Contribution, Uche, good to hear from you. Nigerians should vote wisely and take a clue from what is happening in Mali. Let me quickly take you up on the present situation in Labour Party just before we go ahead. How many factions are there now in your party?
No faction.
Well, there was a time you did a congress and there were other parties who were saying nobody should identify with that congress.
Thank you very much. So that I can make the clarification for all Nigerians to understand the issues at stake. Our constitution says that national working committee members are voted for 4 years, a term of 4 years. At the expiration of 4 years, you are supposed to go for convention.
Okay.
The last time around was 2009. The next convention should have been 2013. The former chairman, that is Adawanyu, did not make any effort to prepare for a national convention. The then member of Labour Party, Governor Mimiko, saw that there was disquiet in the National Working Committee over this issue. He stepped in and tried to bring peace and said, please, give the 9 months extension. That's the National Working Committee, a list of on a few months, that's 9 months, at which National Convention will be held. The 9 months, he asked for this on the 19th of November 2013. This was terminated in September. Nothing was put in place towards this.
Let me just hold you for a while. I believe we have a caller. Saidu, good morning.
Okay, hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Contributions.
Hello.
Go ahead with the contribution, Saidu.
Please, my comment, I'm now talking about the two parties of Nigeria, which APC and the PDP. So I'm a APC fans right now, you understand. Is why I choose APC to get a presidential election in 2015 because the ruling party PDP has failed. So for where we are now, right now in Yola, so we are on state of emergency. So nowhere that people are get state of emergency up to 1 year without clearly what is happening exactly. And we are still on it now, you understand? So we want PDP to move around in this area so that please maybe APC can bring peace for us and we are able to get job and other things. So it's why we are complaining. Many people are complaining about the PDP. PDP, they didn't have anything to say about Nigerian people now. So automatically we don't need PDP, anything of PDP. We don't need about PDP again. Please. Now, right now in Mobi, I hear something wrong between day for yesterday and yesterday, and something is still going now on. So they have nothing to say about that, and nobody come out to apologize or to say what we have never heard anything about the PDP government now. So. Please, we don't need about PDP. My name is Saidu from Yola. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Saidu, for your contribution. Well, let's just quickly wrap up this discussion about the Congress. I really do not understand you. Were you a part of the Congress that was just concluded?
I was trying to explain.
Okay.
I am the National Publicity Secretary, therefore a member of the National Working Committee. And as well, National Working Committee is the government of the party, as it were.
Okay.
The only superior body is the NEC, National Executive Council.
Okay.
So, Governor Miko said, please give him another 9 months. In other words, the lifespan of the National Working Committee, another 9 months. Nothing was put in place for National Convention. And the agitations This is a question of internal party democracy again. Agitations began to bring up. Suddenly, the then chairman said, well, we are going to have National Working Committee. The only item there was to choose a date for the National Convention.
Okay.
We convened, and the 4th of October 2014 was chosen, which was conveyed to NEC.
Okay.
Along the way, there have been court cases from members of the party who were aggrieved in Ogun State that had gone to court to say that they have been excluded from activities of structures in which they are supposed to be members. If you are a chairman, you are a secretary at the state level, you are a member of the National Executive Council.
Okay.
And they are gone to court, and the court had said nothing should be done to exclude them from the activities of the party. Okay. And since this happened, they went to court and said, and the court said, well, they have violated the order of the court. In other words, what I'm trying to say is that the National Executive Council meeting, which was held on the 10th of September, that approved the dates, the court had notified that it was not properly constituted because these men from Ogun State were excluded. And by this time, the owners and founders of Labour Party, that's the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria and the Nigeria Labour Congress, said, do not hold any convention in Akure. The man who is supposed to host you has just defected from a party to
another party.
He cannot be a good host. And you cannot expect to have whatever is going to happen there without the influence of his new party coming to bear. The normal thing would have been for the former national chairman and secretary to bear that. Two things now: the NSCTUC directive and the court.
So one way or the other, the defection of Governor Mimiko has destabilized your Labour Party, so to speak.
You can't have that of a thing that happened that you will not have to go back and replan, re-strategize, because without doubt, he was a major plank.
Well, as a member of the Labour Party, do you feel betrayed by Dr. Mimiko's decision to leave your party?
I am. I feel completely betrayed.
Do you have any personal relationship with him prior to this time?
Of course, yes, very personal, very cordial relationship.
Well, what's the relationship like now?
It doesn't exist.
It's all right. Let's quickly move away from there to discuss the concept of primary election and consensus. Which of these concepts do you really think fit more into the style and system of party that we have in Nigeria, political party system?
Let me quickly say this. Anything called consensus is free. You have seized power from the primary members of the party. What the constitution of most political parties, what the constitution of most political parties says is that you will have to go to your ward, which is supposed to be the lowest, but that's the starting point of a political party at the ward.
Let me just hold you a minute. Let's take this call. Hello, Magnus. Megwis, right? Good morning. Let's go ahead with your contribution. Megwis, are you there? I'm afraid we lost that.
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, go ahead with your contribution now.
I heard the Labour secretary saying that. Hello?
Go ahead, Megwis.
That the Labour secretary, that is Labour Party National Secretary, he said about the members that everywhere they have about 10 million about to, and each one of them has their number and date. Like in Delta State, I find out that we go after people, ask many of us that want to really say we are not in any party, who go along with the person we deem is credible for the person that can represent us rightly. So like Ogborora, I find out recently is coming out for Labour Party. And a lot of us precisely is trying to go in that line. Even today in Europe, we don't have any place called a Labour Party mini secretariat that you can even just go there and say, let me register as a party member there, presiding in Europe there. And many people today, they will just see some poster, they will put up borrow picture there, come out as councillor, House of Assembly member, but nothing to show. Little. So this is your little secretariat. If you want to be a member, just come and see this is their criteria. If you meet it, feel you become a member of Labour Party, nothing like that. So I can't when I look at it, I can't just imagine when I see Labour Party, I'm afraid it's a party. So that is what to know.
Your contribution, Berkeley's from Delta State. I'm afraid that the National Publicity Secretary will have to pay before answering this question because it's more like some sort of publicity for you. But what happens to Labour Party's presence in Delta State?
If it's possible for me to get the gentleman's phone number, then I will give him phone numbers of people who he should contact. I'm living here in Lagos. I can only report what is reported to me.
It's all right. It only means that this is a very good platform for your party to bring all your advertorial and come and publicize properly, because we seem to have many people across the country who would love to hear more about that. But beyond all of these, we were talking about consensus,
yes,
and primary elections.
Now, I was saying this, that I do not know of any political party that has anything called consensus. What we have are primaries. As far as I'm concerned, consensus is a gathering of a cabal of thieves, okay, who want to take the rights of members and impose whoever they want on the party. When you contest at primary, you are contesting on the platform of a political party. You go to the ward and canvass them. The elections are held, primary elections are held, delegates are elected to the local government to state to national, where the delegates come and vote. For example, if we cast our minds back to what happened between Omehia, Celestine Omehia and Amechi, they contested at the primaries. Amechi won, but the party leadership, this is a question again of internal democracy, pushed Amechi aside and gave the ticket to Omehia.
Just a minute before you go ahead. Let's take this call. Hello, Uche. Are you calling back? Go ahead with your contribution, please.
What I want to say is concerning the second to the last person that asked about the PDP as a failure. The thing is, the last person that said PDP has failed. The thing is when somebody sees his problem and pointing another place, when somebody is looking at his problem, pointing another place, his problem will not end unless you see the problem and tackle your problem. PDP has never failed this country. Rather, people that make the comment that they will make this country ungovernable if some people enter there to rule. So I don't see anywhere PDP make any mistake in their ruling. The people that say that they will hit off this country as far as some particular person is on the scene are the people who are supposed to point and blame. And I don't know why this country, I don't know whether some people are too big for this country to bring to good. I don't just know. If somebody made that comment openly in this country that they will make the country ungovernable, and at that time everywhere is going up and down. The country is hitting up and down. And those people still come out and they still want to come out and rule the country. The people that made that comment ungovernable is to be not the party. Thank you. That is what I want to say.
Thank you, Uche, for your contribution. Seems to have a totally different opinion from what Saidu, the court from Yola, has to say. But there are opinions, Ikpe Etukudo, that consensus is more cost-effective, and especially in a country where we are known for money politics, the richer candidate seems to have enough money to throw around and win primary elections.
Now, what you just said might be true, but in effect, at consensus, it is the biggest dog that carries the fattest bone. Because when you come to consensus, you call a cabal of people who may not represent the interests of the ordinary rank and file member of the party. Now they sit down, trade. If you allow me to become president, I will make your daughter minister of so and so and so. Your wife will become this, that. They share the post before they even get started. In other words, this man has no opportunity of even talking and hearing what the ordinary rank and file members. It's only a cabal at the center that do this. Who are these people who are in consensus? Yeah. It is just people at the top who, because of their wealth, they are now trying to expand the frontiers of their wealth by bringing in this man who is now going to be at the point of sharing the booty. That's all consensus means.
Well, did Mimiko win primary elections in your party?
Of course he did.
Some other people would say that it was much more of a consensus arrangement.
I tell you, in 2011, living witness, I, an engineer, somebody, I can't remember his name, paid for forms, collected it, filled the forms, and we were ready for the primaries. On the floor there, he now said he was stepping down. There was nothing anybody could do about that. That was not consensus. There was nothing anybody could do about that. On the floor, when we were about to start voting, what do we call them? Voters' paper were ready for elections. He on the floor at the hall, I think that's what it is called in Akure. That gentleman stood up there before the whole crowd and said, "I'm stepping down."
And you are sure he was not talked out of the race?
If he was talked, that was his own understanding. He was not a party forcing.
Better still, not threatened out of the race.
Whether that happened, I cannot say. But what I'm saying is that the party gave him the opportunity of contesting. If he did that, then those people who supported him would, of course, vent their anger on him because he had support before he came.
But there's also a possibility that even in primary elections, the candidate that seems to have enough money to throw around might not essentially be of interest to the people, even delegates in that particular party. But because he has enough money to throw around, he probably might win elections.
The elections in this country have been over-monetized. That takes away from the ordinary rank and file member the opportunity of even contesting to be a delegate. That's number one. It is given. For example, when a political party sells nomination funds for 27.5 million, 25 million, that, who amongst us in the street can go there and say, I am more representative of this man among the people, I want to contest? You can't. Where will he get that money from?
Are you saying your party, if eventually you will have a presidential candidate, would you be selling your nomination form cheaper than that?
Far lower, because we are People's Party.
How much is far lower?
We have not set up that yet. So I cannot sit down here and preempt what the National Working Committee will say, or the Election Committee will say, as the case may be. But I know that I can never go up that, because we are representing the masses of these people. We are representing the people of this country. We are fighting against imposition of candidates. We are fighting against poverty. We are fighting for economic rights of the people. Therefore, we cannot burden people and say, come and pay 25 million naira. Where do you get that? If you pay 25 million naira just for the form, how much are you going to use in running your elections all over this country? That means already we have mortgaged part of our conscience. It is not possible. We don't do that.
If you don't believe in consensus, then possibly you might also be saying that PTP is not tolling the right part as regards internal democracy.
Well, that is PDP's. If members of PDP will accept consensus, I'm speaking as a Nigerian and as a member of Labour Party. In Labour Party, I will never be a party to anybody saying consensus. Go and consult the people at the primary level, work your way up. If you win, fine. If you don't win, that's it.
But what are also your opinions as regards these very competitive race at the APC presidential primary level? Of course, there are about 5 of them now.
I will tell you.
There are opinions that possibly after consensus, or perhaps if there will be a primary election, that many of them might not be sticking together after all.
I wouldn't know, but what I can say is this, that the difference between PDP and APC is the difference between 6 and half a dozen. The only problem is that in one party there is a Mr. Jonathan, in another party there is a Mr. Buhari. Full stop. There is no difference between 2 of them as far as Labour Party, as far as working people, as far as the people, man and woman of this country is concerned. There is no difference between 2 of them. They will do exactly what each other is doing.
How sure are you about how about
Look at what is happening in the states. What is the difference between APC control state and PDP control states? As I'm speaking now, very few of them have paid salaries of workers in the past 3 months. They are owing pensioners. They are doing all sorts of things. They are depriving the people. They are giving them too much of economic problems and social problems. And they said, what is the difference? What's the difference between two of them? None. Part of APC, most of APC, not part, most of APC are defectors of from PDP. The same thinking, the same ideology, the same way of doing things that they are transporting from PDP into APC. The only difference is that one is called APC, the other one is called PDP.
Oh, if I can get you clearly, you're saying that you are of the opinion that PDP is not doing well as well?
I'm saying that both of them are not doing well. Look at, everybody points accusing finger at the center, but what about the states? I've just said it. Most states have not paid salaries for the past 3 months.
Because that comes as a surprise to me because you supported Mr. President in 2011.
If I supported Mr. President, I have every right to criticize him even more.
Do you regret that decision?
No. No. I have no reason to regret it because two people contested, someone has got to win.
Well,
it's a race.
Will you vote for him again in 2015?
We have not made up our mind yet. If Labour Party has a candidate, why should I go and vote for her?
But apart from Labour Party as a party, you as an individual, because you said you have no regrets to have voted for him.
I have no regrets to have voted for him, yes. Then, now it's a different ball game.
It's all right. We're rounding up now. I just want you to speak to someone who is watching the Nigerian electorate, because there's been much talk about how involved the average Nigerian is in the politics of Nigeria. What should be their participation in 2015?
You see, there is this, I'm sorry to have cut you halfway. The point is this, we are said to be practicing democracy. Democracy is a better form of governance than anyone I've known. You cannot compare democracy with monarchy. You cannot compare it with dictatorship of any kind. But the problem of democracy is that 51 people out of 100, 51 people go this way, then 49 have lost. That's not the best way. That's not the best way. There should be a way in which people are involved and be assured that their involvement will have effect on what is happening. What I'm trying to say in effect is this, that if you look at what happened in Anambra State, when Governor Obi had the last election, more than 3 million people were registered to have voted, to be voters, but less than 1 million cast votes. That means that out of 3 million, 2 million were disenfranchised with this way or that way because they were not galvanized enough. They would not know the importance of casting their votes. Had they cast their votes, I don't think Governor Obi had more than 400,000. Now, many Nigerians are disenfranchised because, number one, they don't see the reason why they should get involved in voting. They have not been educated enough to know that politics controls everything. Social, economic, cultural, that's that. So that people say, voting concerns me then. Something concerns you. You should be involved in politics. You should be involved in voting. Vote for your choice. Whether the fellow wins or not, but you have made your point. That's the point I want to tell Nigerians.
Ikpe Chukwudom is the National Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party. Thank you once again for joining us on Core TV News.
Thank you very much.
And I'm sure that you know that you have to bring all your political jingles here.
Of course, yes.
Especially for the people in Delta State who spoke with you earlier.
Yes.
All right, that's the show this Thursday. Thank you for watching. It kicks at 9 o'clock every weekday, 9 to 11, exclusive to Core TV News. If you missed out on today's edition, you can watch a repeat broadcast at 12 midnight today. And it's also trending on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Core TV, leave a space, and news. We'd love to hear from you on our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/Core TV News. And of course, our Twitter handle at Core TV News. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Stick around for the top of the hour news. Don't go away.
Core TV News. expanding your views.